In our presentation, development will be measured as a combination of GDP and HDI. A country's gross domestic product is the total value of goods and services produced in a country during 1 year. This measures development as GDP represents the total economic output by a country, and this can determine the size of their market. The second measurement of development in our presentation will be HDI, or the Human Development Index. The index measures the quality of life, life expectancy, education, and per capita income. This is an indicator of development as happiness per citizen is a result of government action.
For our presentation, we will be discussing the slowing growth of development in Japan. Recently, Japan has been undergoing a change in population demographic, which has led to a shortage in not only a young workforce but in the population growth itself. This problem is the worst it's ever been, as according to CNN, the number of children in Japan in late 2018 has shrunk to a record low. Along with the statistic about the lack of young, the number of older individuals in Japan is steadily growing, as according to the World Population Review, 27% of Japan's population is over the age of 65. The reason for the negative population growth is because Japan has an extremely high life expectancy, higher than that of any developed country. This inhibits development as Japan's GDP will steadily decline as it is constantly decreasing in workers and overall population because of their low fertility rate. Research says that urban cities have lower fertility rates than rural areas. This is often because urban areas tend to boast better access to services such as education and employment, as well as gender equality, all of which makes life factors go extremely higher, leading to people have longer, more nourishing lives. Japan is one of the most densely populated urban countries in the world. The HDI index will also be negatively affected along with the GDP, as slowing a country's agricultural output will occur once you have a low fertility in population because there's less workers. All factors considered, the low birth rate and high life expectancy in Japan must change, as it will, in the long term, lead to a less developed country.
Some potential questions we would have in our presentation are: what are some potential ways that Japan could combat the issue of low fertility? The answer to this be, they have also taken steps to make it easier for the people to raise children by providing free education, expanding nursery care, and allowing fathers to take parental leave. Local governments have even set up speed dating services across the country. Additionally, Japan could accept immigrants or refugees, as many are young boys and looking for jobs. This would boost the economy. Another potential question is Japan's current Stage 5 model on population pyramid good for combating overpopulation? And how could a country continue to develop with a high fertility rate? The reason Japan has a low fertility rate is one of the factors that is often considered to be a driving force of lowering fertility is urbanization. APDA said, and urban fertility rates are often lower than those in rural areas. This is often because urban areas tend to boast better access to services such as education and employment, as well as gender equality, all of which affect people's decision whether or not to have children. Japan is one of the most densely urbanized countries in the world.
A factor hindering development would be fewer people, less workforce, and less economic output. This hinders development as according to our definition of development, which takes into account GDP. The country's GDP would go down, which would bring down development.
Other contemporary global examples that exist are in countries like Germany, who are witnessing a similar overpopulation and averaging crisis of that of Japan's. Many Germans have attempted to advocate for government regulation and some kind of change that will get rid of the overpopulation crisis. Germany is a contemporary global example that is occurring this year. According to the article in Visual Capitalist, as birth rate of women is down 1.5 per 1, the article continues to make the analysis of low fertility rate and the high amount of seniors living in Germany. This is certainly extreme on a global level. After all, 24.4% of the world's population is under the age of 14, and 12.3% is over the age of 60. Another contemporary global example is the low fertility rate of women in Italy. An article by the local IT in 2018 outlines that Italian women give birth to 1.39 children on average, compared to 1.58 across the EU. This will lead to less population growth in both countries, and some experts predict we will see a negative growth in population of the countries with low fertility rates.
In conclusion, aging population crisis in Japan faces a 25% drop-off in GDP, the IMF warns. The government of Japan can try to solve the low fertility rate issues by making it easier for people to raise children by providing free education, expanding nursery care, and allowing fathers to take paternity leave. Local governments have even set up a speed dating service across the country so people can meet and mate. Additionally, Japan could accept immigrants or refugees, as many are young and looking for jobs, which would help boost the economy. They should set policies to attract foreign workers to come to Japan, as countries like Canada and Australia are already doing this. The influx of foreign workers has positively impacted the GDP of both these countries. Therefore, similar can be said about Japan.
Ms. Roses, Friday, December 7th is my birthday party at my house, 3756 Coventry Lane, and I'm expecting you to be there. 4 doors down from Jordan Daly's house. Thank you.